You found TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. In just a few minutes, we'll be right with you with another award-winning, action-packed edition of your Tony Basilio Show. You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio Show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM. Translator W259AD. Powell, Knoxville.
Tony Basilio, welcome you to another edition. I'm in a singing, humming mood today. We're playing music tonight down at Calhoun's in Lenoir City. We're coming to your city. Really beautiful down there on the lake. And it's absolutely outstanding. John Adams has blessed me to be in studio today. John, how we doing?
I find this fascinating.
Find what fascinating, John?
Your studio. I wish all the listeners could see this place. I mean,
Are you trying to crack on me or?
No. It's like it's hard to describe. I mean, it's as though
This ought to be good.
Well, no, he's got all this in different rooms down here, and there's this radio studio.
That's right.
There's not any space left. There are things everywhere.
Hey, Matt, would you find that to be an apt description of my world? There's not much space left. As Bino said, you would need, if you're doing the clean out from Ward dumpsters, you'd need about 25 of those 15-yarders, Matt. Do you find that accurate?
Yeah, that seems accurate. There's not a lot of space for literally and figuratively. So, but yeah, it's like a museum tour, really, with all the different pennants and just the sports history. You're like your own, it's like a sports encyclopedia, wing.
Well, I think this might be my retirement plan. What I could do is I could make this a museum and
give people tours.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to be here. I would familiarize myself with all this stuff because he's got a music room, and it's just as cluttered. A music room,
cluttered,
and then he's got another room with sheet music. Honestly, it's like a warehouse.
That's a warehouse in there, yeah.
A music store,
yeah,
and a studio, all in one.
And if you look up there, you'll see a Fungo Pop of Bino and myself up there.
And you haven't even mentioned the garage yet.
No.
Yeah, have you seen the heavy bag yet, John?
No.
My heavy bag's out there. I was hitting it yesterday.
When I pulled up here, and I wasn't sure this was his house, and I was looking for a place to park.
This ought to be cute.
I really thought I'd come to a used car lot. I mean, there were so many cars parked here.
Take it up with Laura, big boy.
I didn't think it was right.
Take it up with Laura.
And then Laura comes outside.
Take that up with her.
I said, does everybody here have two cars?
Good.
Does everybody here have two cars? And this is, I don't know, this is stunning almost. I'm kind of having I don't know, I feel like I'm in an altered state by all this. It's
overwhelming.
It's almost too much to comprehend.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this Hulk Hogan statue. I thought my office was crowded. And the only thing we have in common, he's also got a Tony Vitello bobblehead.
God, I love me some Tony Vols.
But mine, I have one too, and mine is much larger.
So, well, that makes sense. Because I like to think of Tony as he is.
Well, the bigger one that Tony has is by his bedside. That's just the second one, John.
Oh, I didn't know about that. So
mine's life size.
What's in the garage, Matt? What did you say? He's got
the heavy bag that he talks about all the time. That one of these things is going to hit back. You could probably find you a set of golf clubs out there, or a couple of sets of golf clubs out there.
Do you have a speed bag?
No, just a big bag.
No, he's the heavyweight.
Can I hit it?
This ain't no grocery
store.
Can
I hit it when I leave?
This ain't no big bag. Of course you can. Yeah, go out there and wear it out.
Well, no, I might hurt myself.
So, guys, Orange Throat brought something up on Monday I wanted to touch on here, which is letter grades for the coaches, and then who gets the best grade. Now that we have a newly completed sports season here, who gets the best grade as we go through these things? And I want to encourage the listeners, and I want to hear Bino tomorrow and Sheffy Heffy, who will be in here tomorrow. I want to hear their thoughts on this as well. And, of course, Matt, the NBA draft happened last night, and none of our guys were taken, as expected. Lanier, though, won't last long, right, tonight?
I have no idea. I would guess he gets drafted. Is Meshack? Is there a chance he gets drafted to be a defensive guy?
I think that I don't know. I probably not, but I would think that Meshack would be a guy.
He's on a summer team.
He could get in a summer league and impress some people because he's.
I literally didn't know the NBA draft was last night until I started seeing all the pics on Twitter. So
I'll say this
I'm not out in there like Brian is.
Brian, did you watch any of it last night? Because I got to say something. ESPN's coverage of the NBA is utterly, and I don't mean this to defend anybody, it's atrocious. It's awful. Compared to their NFL coverage and their Major League Baseball coverage, it's no wonder those people from TNT, Ernie Johnson and them, they run circles. Circles around them. I mean, circles around them. Brian, that was embarrassing last night.
What's weird is Stephen A. Smith needs to be put on some type of Ritalin, and then the other guys need to be woke up.
That's right.
It's a very interesting dynamic they're going for.
Weird.
And then to have Marty Smith.
I mean, what in the world?
That's
Marty Smith. Charlie Carburetor.
Who is this hayseed?
Exactly. Brian just called Marty Smith a hayseed.
I mean, it's very odd mix of characters on that.
No wonder they're buying TNT's programming and they're farming it out next year. I don't know if you guys have seen that. And Charles Barkley said, I don't want to go on ESPN. He said, that's disgusting. He said, I want to stay where I'm at. I love Barkley. He's so great.
What is so bad about ESPN's coverage? Because admittedly, I didn't watch the
awful.
draft.
It's there's no chemistry. It's out of step. It feels forced, right, Bri? It feels forced. They have that Monica McNutt lady up there interviewing people, and she's just bad at it. No offense to her. I mean, I'm watching that last night going, they're spending, for Screaming A, there's $18 million on him. There's $2 million on that guy. I'll tell you what. The draft is mostly college players, right? How much do you think Screamin' A, college basketball, Brian, do you think Screamin' A watched all year? How many minutes of college basketball? And I'm being serious now.
He probably watched as much as we watched WNBA.
That's exactly right.
I would guess.
That's the truth.
I don't think Stephen A. Smith really knows much about sports in general, anything.
No, I agree with that.
What does he watch?
Well, there was a clip of him playing on his phone during one of the games of the playoffs, and people were like, in one of the game sevens, I want to say, the series before last, the Oklahoma City, and somebody caught, he was sitting there playing solitaire while the game was going on. He wasn't even watching the game.
I saw that, and in my New Year's predictions column for 2025, and it's all meant, it's supposed to be humorous.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's mildly funny, but I make these predictions, and I had several about Stephen A. Smith, all related to his running for president. I really believe he will run for president one day. I think he's segueing away from sports into politics. And the Democratic Party has gone so far left. I'm not kidding, Tony. I think he might become a Democratic candidate one day.
So that leads me to this. We're going to do
You think I'm kidding, don't you?
We're going to do letter grades for our teams, and I'll throw out the first pitch here. By the way, no wonder everybody hates the SEC. I'm reading Brian's column today. Hey, Matt, the rest of college baseball has got to be so sick of the Southeastern Conference, right? I mean, it's just in all these sports. Just sucking the life out of the whole room.
Well, they just dominate the sports because of cool recruiting advantages.
Yep.
John, they are.
You had a funny
the
column.
crazy thing to me that Brian mentioned about how many national titles the SEC has in baseball.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is. It's like a dozen or something. They didn't win the first one until 1990. And they've won, about half of them since then. Kind of like, and then the softball one, the SEC didn't win a softball national title until like the 2010s. And now they just totally dominate that sport.
John, here's a trivia question for
crazy.
You. John, you'll never get this, okay? Who won the Southeastern Conference's first national championship? First team to do it. It was 1990. The sport was in borderline anonymity back then. Just throw a team out.
Wait a minute. What did you just say?
The SEC's first national championship in baseball was won by which university in this league?
Well, my initial no, because Skip Bertman went to LSU in '84, but I don't think he won a national title by then.
No, he didn't win one until 91.
And in 1990, South Carolina was not in the league.
Correct.
Mississippi State didn't do it. I'm going to say Georgia.
It was Georgia. That's excellent. Hey, Matt, that's bizarre. The first one won was by Georgia. That's kind of bizarre. South Carolina won 2 in a row. Brian Hartman reminds us that the SEC has now won 6 national championships in a row, and LSU did it with a very mid roster, but 2 tremendous starting pitchers. But talking to baseball people, I'm not sure in their starting 8 if they have a major league player. I don't know. I mean, that's what I hear.
I think he's a very good coach.
Oh, there's no question he's a good coach.
Curiel's a big leaguer.
Yeah, Curiel maybe.
The freshman left fielder.
A good friend of mine.
But no, your point's right. They're not overly talented.
And they just did it. They just went out and did it. But here's the thing. 2019 Vanderbilt, which Cinco was talking yesterday, and we're going to get into these grades. I want your letter grades for football, basketball, baseball, women's basketball, and women's softball. Letter grades. Throw Taji the other day. He gives Karen Weekly an A-.
Who gave her
She gets our insider. She gets to the Final Four. An A minus? Hey, Chief, I'm glad I didn't have you as a professor. I wouldn't be sitting here right now. Imagine giving a lady that gets to the Final Four, John, an A minus of a grade.
That's tough grading. But I guess an A plus would be what? Winning the national championship.
Well, he said she has the best pitcher in the deal. And she mismanaged the Oklahoma game. That's what he put in his deal.
Well, yeah, but if you're going to grade like that, she had to get there. She's the one that assembled this team. She's the one that recruited that pitcher. So when you start talking about grades and grading a coach, it's the whole ball of wax. How did they get to that point? I think you got to factor that in, or do you just ignore that when you want to give out your grades? Is it going to be just based on your coaching, or is it on what you did with the program? How do you want to grade? Tony, you're in charge of
I don't know.
Oh, so you're not.
What do you guys say, Matt? What do you say to that? How do you answer that when you're giving that grade out?
Well, you know how much I love to do the letter grade deal. It's just, I think it's up for interpretation by everybody. Each person can have their own letter grade and have their own criteria, and they're not wrong for the most part.
Well, I think you just have to look at it. You can't focus singularly on one game and say somebody mismanaged a game. Yeah, you could definitely make that criticism, but if you're going to evaluate what the coach did for the year, we're talking about for the school year, I think. Yeah. Right, Tony?
Yes.
So, for example, if you grade Josh Heupel on the Ohio State game, he wouldn't have fared well. I mean, his team couldn't have looked any worse than if they'd all been wearing gorilla suits.
Here's the thing. I sit here with you guys, and I marvel at the sports that we're treated to here and just how hard it is in this league to compete in these deals. I mean, this football thing's an absolute meat grinder. It's brutal. Brutal. And every team in this league has very good players. Every team. Every team has a couple guys that are going to play in the NFL, play for a long time, even the Vanderbilts of the world and the Mississippi States of the world. And, you know, the dregs of society in this league, every one of these teams has high-level, excellent, world-class athletes. It's just the way it is. And you get so used to it, you know, that it's just – but it's remarkable to think – I mean, think back to the football season last year. Tennessee goes 10-2. And the only crime committed by them, John, is that the playoff system didn't pit them against SMU. Now that you look back on last football season, and that left – and then the whole Nico thing. Because when the Nico thing first popped up, and surely if they had a chance to do it over again, because they ended up saying goodbye to him. They ended up calling his bluff and saying goodbye to him, so they should have done it in December when they could have gotten a quarterback, and now they wouldn't be in the spot they're in. But they're in a spot, and it is what it is, and who cares? It kind of is what it is. But when you think back to the football season, John, last year, what 10-2, and then going out and getting just pile-driven by Ohio State, whatever. Anybody was going to have that happen to them in that spot. What's a letter grade?
I would give it a B.
Brian Hartman, what's the letter grade in baseball? I mean, football, rather.
I think you got to raise it for beating Florida and Alabama in the same year.
Yep.
And making a 12-team playoff is got to at least be worth something. But I'll say, especially when his offense isn't really – he's found a way to win without scoring like you would need to, you would think. So the fact that he's been adapted, I'll go ahead and give him an A-.
Matt, what do you got?
Uh, B plus for football.
All right. I agree with Brian. I'm going to go A minus. John, you said what?
B.
Yeah,
Here's the thing you haven't mentioned. You're focusing on the Ohio State game.
Mhm.
Granted, that was a blowout, and that left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. Tennessee's playoff run, you talk about it was unfortunate that it had to be matched up at Ohio State. Tennessee made it was a gift of the schedule Tennessee had.
Sure.
Tennessee was very fortunate to have that schedule. If it would have had Oklahoma's schedule, it wouldn't have been anywhere near the playoff.
I'm gonna agree with Brian. I think I give that season a B plus. They got the most out of the roster.
You just started. I thought you said.
You said B.
Brad said an A minus.
Brian said A minus. Matt said B plus. I say B plus. I'm sorry. I agree with Matt.
You're going to change. Are you going to change again later?
B plus. So,
but
you do make a good point though. These football teams and these seasons, when you start talking to the sharps, it's all about your schedule, and it's all about when you play people, when they play people, when you play people versus when they play them, how these schedules work out. It was extremely favorable to Tennessee last year. And Matt, when I look at the top of college football this year, one of my things I keep coming back to when I consider the season to come is that truly, this was an opportunity this year. It's a shame the whole quarterback thing blew up. Look, I'm not real high on Nico. I never was. Once I saw him against Oklahoma, and then once I heard what I heard from people inside that complex, which is that he can't think it.
And adapting
that.
to that as you go along has to be worth something.
Go ahead, John.
Well, but we didn't hear that earlier. That's not what we heard when he was a freshman and not playing. He was a wonder kind.
That's right.
He was a superstar in the making.
You know what that tells me? But they don't know John till it gets live. Until you go on the road in this league and you play a night game and it's going really fast, and this is what I have. It's kind of like that kid that played for Florida last year. They didn't know who he was. If they knew that kid was that good, John, he would have been out there from day
one.
There you go. They don't know.
And here's the thing.
You can't know.
Graham Mertz wasn't a bad quarterback for Florida. He wasn't a bad quarterback, but they didn't have the overall talent for a pretty good quarterback.
That's right.
To be successful. This guy comes in and he elevates the talent because he makes stuff happen. Yeah. And that's really what I thought Nico would do.
Me too.
I thought that would be the kind of player he is. He's just he'll create something out of nothing. And he never did that.
I embarrassed myself with my Nico take. Hey, Matt, which will happen 5 times for the show's over.
I know, but
putting it lightly.
Presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. John Adams is, and he's in a real irascible mood today.
That's not true at all.
He's picking at me. Something about us, our dynamic. We're in person here. A little behind the scenes here. John was having trouble with his computer. He came over. He plugged it in right in front of Laura. She's very good with technology. And what happened, John, when you plugged it in front of her?
Well, it just started working. We were talking about the sound system, and nothing was done. But all of a sudden, like by magic, it's working.
But what did you do? How did you make it work?
I just turned it on, and it worked. And I connected with but I've been having trouble with that. And nothing had changed, and now it worked.
See?
But will it work when I leave? Will it work back home? I don't know.
Probably not.
So I guess I have to stay over here. You're not far from my house, Tony. And admittedly, I kind of like it here.
Wait a minute. We'll come back on the other side, 865-200-5402. Upon the continuance, I want to hear from you. We're going to do letter grades, and then I want yours. Who did the best job? Which coach on this campus this sports season gets our highest honor? And what is our highest honor? What should we give away?
How about this Hulk Hogan statue you have in here?
Our highest honor, as we continue with more on the other side, right after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
Your Smokies are back home this week, and you asked for it, so you got it. All You Can Eat Wednesdays is back. Pulled pork, hot dogs, Bush's baked beans, popcorn, chips, drinks, a ticket to the game. You get it all. Don't forget Thirsty Thursdays with half-off draft beers, and next weekend, we've got Medieval Night on Friday with Knights, Royals, and fireworks. Smokies Version Night and fireworks on Saturday with the first 2,000 fans receiving a free friendship bracelet. And come meet Flippy on Sunday. Grab your tickets now at smokiesbaseball.com.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Jeff Hall here. I'm a partner at Rather & Kittrell Capital Management. And here at Rather & Kittrell, we understand that life is full of transitions. Since 2000, our team of dedicated certified financial planners has been helping individuals, families, and businesses navigate these changes with confidence. From comprehensive wealth management to tailored retirement plans, we're committed to guiding you toward a secure financial future. Ready to take the next step? Visit rkcapital.com or call us at 865-218-8400 to start your journey today. Rather & Kittrell is a registered investment advisor.
Summer officially starts this month, and the last thing you want during sweltering heat is a broken air conditioner or HVAC system. That means it's more important than ever to keep you and your family comfortable and safe before extreme Tennessee temperatures arrive. Don't ignore the warning signs that your AC is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need emergency HVAC repairs, routine preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month, get up to a $1,000 discount when you buy and install a new air conditioner or HVAC system. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards, so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Are you stuck in a dead-end job or ready for a new challenge? Do you feel like it's time to try a new career? Well, it's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics have some really exciting opportunities for you to learn a new skill. With a new 5-acre driving academy that's now under new leadership with all new course material. And the best part, it's absolutely free. What a great deal to set you on the road to higher pay. And TLD Logistics even offers weekly stipends to offset food and gas expenses. In 6 weeks' time, you could complete this course and be in compliance with FMCSA regulations. Then you're ready for the open road of opportunity. What are you waiting for? It's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. Visit tldlogistics.com. That's tldlogistics.com. TLD Logistics.
A lime is not always just a lime. You see, some limes are lucky. For when a lime joins the salted rim of a crisp, refreshing Tres Dos Equis, that lime is no longer a mere lime. but a wedge of renowned Mexican limon. Muchas gracias, limon. And also, de nada. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. If you're thinking about selling your home, I've got good news for you. The East Tennessee and Knoxville areas are projected to have another strong year. I'll be happy to talk with you about the latest and greatest info you need. So give me a call at 865-694-5904 or contact me at nextmovesmokymountains.com. Hope to hear from you soon, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. TB back with you. Hey, Matt, what about our guy? And I do mean our guy. Your guy, my guy, our guy. This Moore guy, I think, Simo, I think Christian Moore, I think he might make it in Major League Baseball, Matt. What do you think?
Yeah, he's got a chance to stick around.
Yeah.
So what he did the other night is incredible. That's just unreal to do that quickly. But we saw that here during the national title year. How many of his home runs were game-changing, impactful home runs, and it was just incredible that a guy that's not a pitcher could impact games the way he did. And he's already doing it in the big leagues. And game-tying home run, I think it was in the 8th inning. And then a walk-off home run in, I think, the 10th, where he didn't even know it was a home run until he got to third base.
Hey, John, the Angels had a few more guys like him. They might start winning some games. Because I'm going to tell you something. He's a stone-cold winner. That's what that guy is.
And I think Tennessee fans, for all the great athletes that have been here, aren't accustomed to seeing a guy like that. He's the kind of guy that has ended a lot of Tennessee seasons for the opponent.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for Tennessee. And I think it's very revealing that Tennessee won a national championship because it had the guy that's he's going to rise to the occasion. There aren't that many players like that. And when we're talking college baseball, so I right away think of Paul Skeens.
Another one.
At LSU.
Yeah.
He was the guy.
You're not losing when he's out there.
And so we see him. What's his transitional time? What's his adjustment to pro ball? There is none.
No.
He just shows up.
Yep.
He was pitching like that his last year of college. And so perhaps we should – it's just hard to fathom because we don't think of Tennessee guys like that. Now, Todd Helton was that guy, but that was a long time ago.
Well, Brian made a great point on the break, which is every night now when you watch Major League Baseball, you're starting to see Oh, that guy played here. Oh, that guy played here. Oh, that guy played here. It's the first time in my lifetime I remember that. Oh, that guy played here. I mean, you watch these highlights nightly, and these Tennessee players, and then there's a kid from Knoxville, Todd Raleigh's son right now, who a lot of people don't even realize is a kid that grew up here, who's getting ready to break the major league record. The major league record for home runs by a catcher in a season. Unless he gets injured, he going to break that record. So, it's remarkable the impact. We keep saying it about this Vitello guy because he's the best coach on the campus. And there's some great coaches on the campus, but he's just the best. How do you explain, John, how quickly they have all these players all over Major League Baseball? And they're not done. Like Matt said, from the super team, there are 8 now, right, that have gotten there? 8's the number?
Yes.
And there's probably, maybe 3 or 4 more that have an opportunity to do it?
Yeah, like Drew Gilbert will get there probably this year if he gets traded.
Yes.
For some bullpen help. Drew Beam, I think, probably makes it. Blake Burke probably makes it.
Yeah.
And then you have, Jared Dickey, Kavaris Tears, I think could make it.
One of those 2 guys will get there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, what's that? That's 8. I mean, 11.
That's
that'd
12.
be 12 there. That would be 12 guys, which is more scholarships than that team had to offer. Back when it was 11.7, which is kind of a cool deal. But yeah.
Well, that to me, Matt, is when I think about college baseball. I wrote about a column earlier this week about that. College baseball coaches have always had a more challenging situation than any other coach on campus because you have to go into a recruit's living room.
Yep.
You have to go in there and say, well, and you can't tell somebody, well, here's what you get. We're going to have to split up these scholarships. You're going to have 11.7 scholarships for 40-something guys.
Oh.
When I think of that, it's like Jesus with the fishes and the loaves of bread. I've got these. Here, a couple of fish here. We're going to feed 1,000 people with it. Okay,
it's a great analogy.
We're going to have to. It's an incredible balancing job. It's the toughest recruiting job in sports because you have to go in there and you got to kind of dance around that. You got to look at a parent and say, well, we can't give him a full scholarship, but here's what we can do for him. We got this, we got that. I mean, it's like try to sell a used car. Well, yeah, the brakes don't work great on this thing. Acceleration is really good, and it's a good-looking vehicle. So you got to. It's so challenging. In that, with Tony Vitello, I think when you think recruiting, it's salesmanship, yes, but it's also the other part of this that you and Matt brought up just now is the evaluation.
They're so good at it.
I mean, to be able to, and it's just, it's hard to do. We talk about quarterbacks. We just got through talking about Nico. Well, he wasn't as good as we thought he'd be. He wasn't as good as Josh Heupel thought he would be. He wasn't as good as Urban Meyer and Nick Saban thought he would be.
That's right.
They said he's
it.
Urban Meyer was blown away.
He called his friends and said, "You guys,
you got to
turn this guy on and watch us. You got to watch us."
But see, you mentioned this earlier.
When you're playing against air, though, man, it's a different deal.
And when they got in there in Norman,
when that pass rush gets real,
and Brent Venables, for all his issues, is a head coach. The guy can flat out coach defense, and he can flat out make life miserable for a quarterback if he's got anything at all to work with.
Those 2 coordinators that night, when you think back to last football season, the damnedest thing I've ever seen was the level of play between the two quarterbacks in that game. Both highly paid players. That Jackson Arnold guy.
Yeah, they were.
That was the worst level of quarterback play in a signature football game. 2 starters. That wasn't like, this team's got his third team. I mean, Matt, you think back on that. That, as bad as Nico was, and he was kind of lost, okay? That Jackson Arnold guy said, "Hold my beer." I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna show you bad. Those two laterals, Matt, that he threw when he threw the ball backwards. I mean, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
They had to bench him before halftime.
That's exactly right.
Which effectively was like putting Chase Burns in the bullpen. Like the kids leaving after the year once you do something.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
and they had to do that before halftime of like the third game of the season.
And they just put in a guy who was not really a quarterback, but really athletic. Jackson Arnold is also athletic. He rushed for 131 yards on Alabama.
Oh, he's
beating them.
He's an athlete.
Got talent. But see, that was a good example. He had nothing around him. Jackson Arnold did. That offensive line that was cobbled together from the transfer portal couldn't block Tennessee's guys. I thought that defense that Tennessee showed in that game, again, though, it was against a very limited offense.
Tennessee's defense carried them last year, John.
Yeah, but in that game, Tennessee's defense, it looked like the old Chicago Bears in the mid-'80s.
Hey, you get a quarterback that doesn't know what they're doing, and you get some SEC athletes on the field putting heat on a quarterback that doesn't know what they're doing. Both defenses looked great that night. And that's what the game – that's why the game was – and the funny thing about that sport is that those quarterbacks are so valuable that when you have one and you see one, it's kind of like Cinco says, when a 5-star player is on the field, you could be with one of your kids at a practice, and that person should stand out. You know, one thing I wonder, guys, hey, Matt, hypothetically, what if, because it's all luck, right? What if the Florida quarterback, that kid, would have been on Tennessee's roster last year? Would we be saying the things we're saying about Josh Heupel's offense and how they've got kryptonite and how many playmakers at wide receiver? In other words, is it the chicken, the egg? Is it the quarterback? Is it the scheme? I wonder if you took a kid like that who elevated everybody around him, and he was a true freshman. And the crazy thing is, Florida didn't have any playmakers. They didn't have any play. When Graham Mertz was out there, they were like, this guy's got no receivers around him. They don't even skill people. Kind of what you say about us. But all of a sudden, you put him in the game, and all of a sudden, these guys are making plays. You know, I wonder, guys, if you could have just hypothetically traded those two players, said you play your season down there, this guy plays his season here. I wonder what that looks like. Because that kid from Florida was that guy. He walks on the field, and everybody's better. What do y'all think of that?
Well, but see, as I said earlier, that's what I thought Nico was going to be.
Exactly.
I thought he was going to go there, and he was going to elevate everybody, and he was going to be able to make plays when the play broke down. It goes back.
This guy's not a willing runner. That guy didn't want to run.
I know, but you can't. It just goes back to showing you can't trust your opinion based on one game. And I base my my opinion on Nico off that bowl game.
Plus, we were spun, John. That's the other thing.
Well,
they were really spinning.
I know. But that aside, but I still trust my eyes, and I watched Nico in that game. In Iowa, for all of its offensive shortcomings, had a sound defense.
Now, Matt
he made plays in that game.
I got an email about our show the other day, Matt, when we matched the Big Ten and the SEC, like John did in his column. John was kind of kidding around.
Yeah, it was facetious.
We were having fun. I mean, we were trying to get drilled down on it. The truth is, the middle of this league's a lot better than that league. But I had some Big Ten people reach out to me and say, "What about the bowl games?" And I'm going, "What about them?" Because now I'm back to this. I don't know, Matt, right now, how much I can trust what I see in bowl games.
No.
Nico looked like he was running around. That looked like, looking back on it, it looked like Iowa's going 3/4 speed, and it's an exhibition game. These guys don't care about bowl games anymore, y'all. They just don't. Can we trust what we see in bowl games as this is what next season is? Can we do that now in this day and age?
No.
Well, you have to understand the circumstances. I mean, that Iowa team, I feel like most of their defensive guys played in that game.
They did.
Had one or two opt out.
They really did. Yeah, that's what's crazy about it. He did that against a very good defense.
I do think you always say Nico wasn't a willing runner last year, and that's true. I think he was coached not to be a willing runner because they just had no quarterback depth, so they had to make sure they kept him healthy. and I think they coached and played scared, and that was a big part of that. Whereas in that bowl game, I mean, you're not worried about playing the next week or the rest of that season, so you could call things a little bit looser, and he could play a little bit more freer. And so but I do think there was some. I don't know. It's weird because what happened in that bowl game didn't translate into the next season
at all.
But how many times when you see that, when you're just watching a random game, and you see a guy, I mean, it wasn't just the people that follow Tennessee that had this opinion about Nico. We just mentioned Urban Meyer.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows talent.
Oh, yeah.
And knows quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And he said, that's the guy. You got to watch this guy.
Yeah.
But you can't, again, we kind of got fooled. And I'm not convinced that Nico will be a washout as a quarterback. I think he has got the arm talent. What I was most wrong about, I thought he was a perfect fit for Josh Heupel's offense. An instinctive runner who could make plays, and he wasn't that. He's a guy, he's like Joe Milton.
Yeah.
He's a guy that should drop back and throw the ball all over the field, deep across the field. He's got that kind of arm. He could do that. And I looked at Joe Milton and I said, well, this guy, he's not a good fit for this offense. But I thought Nico was, and I was wrong. I think Nico will do better, perhaps. Now, he won't have much talent around him at UCLA.
It'd be really interesting to watch him this year.
And I think I think UCLA will be the second team Tennessee fans follow this year. More so than another SEC team. If there's an SEC game on, and they're going to go, no, let's watch UCLA. They're playing Ohio State or Michigan, and they're going to be pulling for the Big Ten. For the Big Ten team.
Hey, the ratings that UCLA gets here locally on television, I'd love to see them because it's going to be and across this footprint.
I'd compare. I wonder how they will compare with the ratings in L.A.
I'm telling you. Hey, Matt, he's got a great point. Every Tennessee fan will be watching Nico. Some will be hate watching. To me, I mean, kids are going to move around. Whatever. It is what it is. Maybe it's addition by subtraction. We talked the other day. It might end up being that this thing might be total irony, John. It might end up being that this Johnny Football guy who loves to just Joey Football guy who loves to just throw it around and will run with the ball, is more than a willing runner. I mean, he's a very competitive, fight you for every yard type kid, tries to make throws that aren't there, but isn't afraid to throw the ball long. Matt said, and he's right about this guy might end up being a better quarterback for this offense than the guy that just left. And the weird thing about the guy that just left is you can't really fault Tennessee for the eval on him because his entire quarterback class, and here it is 3 years later, they suck. That class is one of the worst ever right now. I mean, ever. Like the kid at Pittsburgh, the kid at South Carolina, if you go back and look at it, go back and look at that signing class, pull up one of these services, and look at those quarterbacks in that class. You could say, well, you couldn't find, you made the wrong, and Josh Heupel and the Spire people, they identified the wrong. There were no right answers. You had to pick somebody. Well, in that top 10, John, there's like 3 or 4 of those guys that are on their 4th team already.
I know, but if you just look at Nico's skill set.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at he's 6'6" guy who can move.
Oh.
And he makes every throw. Who would not be dazzled by that?
When I saw him in that Polynesian All-Star game on that Friday night, two things I thought. One, I wish I was Polynesian, because those people are having a damn good time. Because it looked unbelievable out there, the celebration that they were having. And then the second thing I thought to myself is, this guy can really play. This guy can really play. And we all get fooled. It is what it is. You have to own it too when it happens to you.
But we still do better to see him somewhere else, different system, to really to make a final evaluation, I think.
Yep.
Because you have to admit, Tennessee was not loaded with complementary talent. Set up for a good running game offensively.
No.
It was a running team with a good defense.
One other thing I want to introduce into the conversation here, because I want to talk about some of the different sports, but that we just unpacked football for you. My letter grade for Heupel last year, when you consider that they ran into a roadblock with their quarterback, I toggle between B+ and A-. I'm toggling right now. Brian might have pulled me toward an A-. I'm toggling right now between a B+ and an A-.
Schedule. Can't ignore the schedule.
And this thing that happened with Ketel Marte, Matt, have you seen the video? Because I want to say a word about this.
Where did that come from?
I've not seen the video, and I'm not really sure I want to.
No, it's the most heartbreaking thing. It's one of the sad. Did you see it, John? No. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't see the video.
The video is one of the saddest. Listen, I was talking a couple days ago about the Eagle fans and how they love bullying people, and it aggravates the hell out of me. I'm not going to lie to you, because it's just not how you treat people.
Where was he playing?
They were playing where, Bride? Do you remember? They were on the road somewhere.
Chicago
White Sox.
Chicago.
I thought they were at home.
No, they were playing the White Sox. I think they were on the road. They were in Chicago, I believe. But anyway, a fan saw his Instagram post, I guess, from several years ago where he was crying about his mother. Come back, mommy. His mom died, and this kid was really close to his mom and just a young kid. And so apparently this guy is like taking off on his mother's death, just, going off on him.
Well, that is...
John, we have a civility problem in our society, and we believe this. Here's what we all believe. Because you make a lot of money, you've suspended your humanity, and I'm allowed to say to you whatever I want to say to you. And I'm here to tell you, man, I think there's a time and a place for everything. Like John was talking about Jesus and the loaves. I always think about when Jesus goes into the temple and they're selling things, and he just takes the stuff and just flips it over. Get out of here. Get lost. Why wouldn't somebody in the stands walk up to that guy and say, hey, you say one more word to this kid, I'm putting a fist in your mouth. And by the way, go get help from the authorities in the stadium. What have we done as people, man? Where are the men? Go get help. Get this guy out of here.
But would they have done would they have done anything? I don't know. But what's happened now? We say don't cross. There's some lines you don't cross.
Yeah.
Well, those lines have disappeared. That now any line some people will cross, and I don't want to get too philosophical.
Listen. There was a video of an Eagles game this year. Okay. This guy was sitting there with this lady, and they had their jerseys on of another team, and these Eagle fans are up there bullying this woman. This guy, my age, was a high-level executive there in the Delaware Valley at a company, okay?
Uh-huh.
When the video surfaced, the things he was saying to her, he was calling her every word in the book because she had a different jersey on. That's basically...
Yeah, it's like they're fair game.
And he lost his job. People say, well, he got canceled. Let me tell you something. You behave that way in public toward a woman and you're a man, you deserve to get canceled. Okay? There should be some repercussions for your behavior because guess what? Because somebody has a different jersey on than the one you wear does not give you a license to treat them like they're an egg-sucking dog. It's not how this works.
But see, I can imagine something like that happening at an SEC venue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and that's why I'm bringing it up here, because it's not right. It's not just because
Oh,
somebody
it happens
has
every week somewhere.
It's not right. And when we see it, we should call it out. Because if you don't call it out, it's going to continue to happen. And that's the truth.
This was years back when remember when Arkansas beat Tennessee so bad in Fayetteville
Yeah.
when Bobby Petrino was
Yeah.
That was a top 5 Arkansas team.
Yeah.
Just humiliated.
DMC or whatever that guy's name was, that McFadden guy.
Darren McFadden.
McFadden, yep.
Oh, yeah, it was just a total blowout. Anyway, my wife and her brother were at the game, and she still talks about this like it was yesterday. It left her with and it could have happened anywhere, but there was one fan who saw them, I don't know, I guess they had Tennessee shirts on.
Yeah.
And so there was one Arkansas fan that was on them the entire game. He's a few rows back. And he kept calling them hillbillies and making hillbilly reference. Somebody from Arkansas, that was the irony of it, calling somebody a hillbilly. But these things happen every Saturday in every stadium around the SEC where.
And some of that, okay, fine. You're a hillbilly, go home, whatever. Okay, fine. Somebody jump in your wife's face and call her the C word, like what happened in the Eagle game? You are a C word? I mean, come on now. Here's the deal. You're going to get fired. People have phones. It's going to get out on social media. It got out on social media because people thought it was funny. The guy that filmed it thought it was funny. Hey, listen. It's not funny. You're not funny, and it's not funny. That's not funny. Treating somebody like that is not funny. And baseball is taken to banning this guy, but the problem is, what about the other people that are sitting around him? Nobody's going to say anything? That's like, I was sitting in a restaurant one time, and I'm not telling on me, but I don't put up with that stuff. My kids are young at the time, and I'm in there with my wife, and a guy is just like cussing, and I'm like, dude, I'm over here at my family, man. He goes, yeah. I said, yeah. And you're going to respect that. Or I'm going to get somebody I'm going to get management, and you're going to get gone. So you got two choices. That's how things used to be. You don't, listen, you don't have to put up with that stuff. We're not just spectators here. We're not. Because if you sit there and you let a guy bully a player, you're kind of participating in it. I'm sorry. I hate to say that out loud. I don't like how that sounds. It's the truth. It's the truth.
If what happened in Chicago, if that was a White Sox game, then they hardly have fans come to games. So, I mean, as far as anybody sitting around them, what do you think about it?
He might have had.
Yeah, maybe he's the only guy in the section, Brian.
They're going to move to Nashville eventually, they say.
865-200-5402. I'm just, I wanted to get that out there. The Marte thing, when I saw that kid crying, and you're like, man, these are people. Hey, listen, you want to go heckle somebody? I'm all for that. I think heckling at a baseball game is fun. It's good stuff. It's, get on the umpires. That's fun. There was a kid here that played, and who was the kid from Florida, Matt? And the kid, his girlfriend posed for Playboy, and the students at UT put the cover. They were holding the cover up of the thing. That bunch of them snuck it in. David Lee or somebody, I think I remember, like 20 years ago.
Was it Matt Walsh?
Matt Walsh.
One of those white stiffs. That
Buzz called him Wash.
Dwayne Shinsius, the late great one, hit somebody with a tennis racket on their campus. I think the story was that there was like a meter maid down there was going to write him a ticket, and he whacked or a parking attendant or something, and he hit. But everybody showed up with like a tennis racket, at the game, and they were giving it to him. Hey, that kind of stuff is, that's fair game.
Well, I think that what happens is when you start out that way, and that's how a lot of people will do it, but there's going to be somebody that's going to go beyond. There's always going to be somebody that goes beyond.
And he gets a knuckle sandwich. Because somebody's got to hold the person accountable. Look, buddy, you say that again. I'm going to go get the authorities. That's enough. I'm not going to listen to this all game. That's another thing when you're in the stadium and you got these people that are chirping. You just want to go, look, man, I'm out here to see a ball game. I'm out here to relax tonight. It's me and Bino, and I'm with Fab Five Freddy, and we're hanging out. And, geez Louise, man, we're going to launch on this guy's mother who passed away?
That's one of the worst things I've ever heard.
Ever!
Yeah.
I mean, that is so far beyond the pale. It's kind of like when I saw that Eagle video, that thing that happened in the upper level of the link. And this guy's so proud of himself. You could just see it. He was so proud. Just a total meathead.
You go
proud
back.
Of yourself.
It was just a few years ago. I want to say it was a Giants fan at a Dodgers game.
Got killed? Yeah. Here's the thing. When these people get caught too, John, the first thing they say on social media is, "That's not me." I got news. I got news for you. That is you. That is you, and that's the problem, because you become us. That's my problem with the Eagle fans. You become us. You see that stuff, you call it out, and you stop it. There's just no need for it. This is a civilized society. You should be able to bring yourself and a loved one. John's wife should be able to sit at a game and not get screamed. Now, if somebody's called hillbilly, whatever, okay, fine. But when you start crossing that line, then, check yourself. So I just wanted to talk about it. We'll come back. I'll get some calls in. 865-200-5402 after this.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our trials last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Listen up, baseball fans. It's time to step up to the plate and get some new Tennessee gear from Alumni Hall. Don't you dare swing and miss by shopping elsewhere. Alumni Hall has the best selection, top brands for you to choose from. Shop in store, 3 Knoxville locations, or Bristol or Murfreesboro. Anytime online, anywhere in the world at alumnihall.com. Come grab your Tennessee baseball jerseys. Incredible Oh, Coach Vitello's jersey, hats, decals, t-shirts, and so much more. Earn $10 in rewards for every $150 spent. Shop Alumni Hall, your ultimate Tennessee shopping destination. Go Vols from Alumni Hall. Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean, no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Attention Vol fans, are you tired of complicated, clunky fleet technology that makes your job harder? Say goodbye to frustration and hello to Connexial, your hometown partner in logistics. It's time to rev up your operations with next level fleet management from Connexial. Connexial is here to keep your business on track with technology that works as hard as you do. Our game-changing ELD gives you more than just hours of service. With AI-powered dash cameras and real-time asset tracking, you'll have eyes on the road, cargo, and your fleet from anywhere, anytime. And the best part, our friendly US-based customer support team is just one phone call away. No more long wait times or frustrating tech talk. Just real people with real solutions. With Connexial, you get a professional team you can trust and easy-to-use products that keep you on the road. What do you say, Tony?
I'm ready. Make the smart move and call Connexial today.
865-888-6920. Learn more at Connexial.com. That's Konexial.com. Drive life with Connexial and go Vols.
Basilio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com. Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Yeehaw! Some people say betting online is still the wild, wild west. But with the VIP Play app, you're riding with the best. VIP Play app is hotter than a $2 pistol packed with flair. Live hosts and features finer than a frog hair. Send your old betting problems out of town with a slap. You'll be betting sharp as a tack on the VIP Play app.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Jeff Hall here. I'm a partner at Rather and Kittrell Capital Management. Life is full of transitions. Planning for retirement, managing investments, or navigating major life changes. Here at Rather and Kittrell, we're here to guide you through every step. Visit rkcapital.com or call 865-218-8400 to start your journey toward financial clarity today. Rather and Kittrell is a registered investment advisor.
Tony B back with you. John Adams is HOF. He's presented by Jennifer Morris, the best. You bow thy head when you say thy name. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. You're buying, selling, or trading a home. Don't you dare do it without her. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. Jennifer, hope you're doing well. Hope all's good. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Let's go back to the phones at 865-200-5402. And Mr. Rogers would never behave like that toward that Marte guy. I love me some Mr. Rogers. Love me some Mr. Rogers. Let's go back to the phones. Hello and welcome into our next call. As TGMD Matt Dixon's in the house today, who Tennessee's got some really, really, really good guys committed so far in this class, and they're adding to it. Boy, they've said goodbye to the world here this offseason. Like 17 or 18 guys so far have kind of hit the bricks. But hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, this is Sam. I was the guy in Omaha last week.
Oh, what a great call, Sam. You were at the ball game.
I realized I never said my name, so my name is Sam.
Terrific call, and it was great hearing from you, man. I love guys like you that are just sort of sports fans. You're like in the area, and I'm going to go enjoy. John, he was at the LSU-Arkansas game the other night. Sam was. The night that Arkansas threw the game away.
Yeah, I heard his call.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yep.
Yeah, that was last week when
was
I was
it? Okay,
on.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
And he
realize
went,
if
yeah,
you.
he was.
It's a great call.
Last Thursday.
Yeah.
Yep. And I want to give a shout out to William because that call I listened to no less than 10 times, and it got me through that workday. That was one of the best calls I've ever heard in my life.
Well, John at one point said to William, "Why are we doing this?"
He also said it was the one of the worst losses Tennessee's ever had, and William kind of just told him off and said, "Okay, never mind," and just kept talking.
Yeah.
It was great.
Hey, William's got Alumni Hall gift cards coming his way for the way he handled you, John.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
Kudos to him.
And kudos.
Both of those.
But speaking of football, I was thinking about, you were talking about Nico.
Yep.
Because I went to 2 football games last year, Arkansas and Ohio State. So, that was my travel experience last year.
Wow.
But,
my gosh, dude. You need to stay away.
I don't know.
No offense
yeah.
to you. No. Where do you live?
I live in Nashville, but I travel a lot for work.
Okay, so you're traveling and you're out and about. Do me a favor. Stay out of the Dome when we play Syracuse, okay? That's kind of a big game this year.
Guess what the third game I was going to?
Which one?
Georgia, but my sister happened to get married on that weekend, so it saved me that disappointment too.
Jeez Louise, man.
But I kind of wonder if his dad didn't get in his ear and say, "Hey, don't put your body on the line because we're going to be shopping you around." And I really wonder how much he was in that last season, because we don't know what his dad says to him daily, and it's really curious to me. Just I don't know his attitude as the season progressed, because the tackle play was horrible, and I don't blame him for. I mean, anyone can see that, and I'm actually excited about this year to have potentially better tackle play, but
Hey, Matt, well, John, have you thought about that? Because I've never even thought about the angle of the father. And I thought from Matt's perspective, Matt's probably closer to it that they just basically told him, hey, well, we don't have anybody behind you, so don't go out there and expose yourself. But it could be that the dad...
I think it was more coaches. Everything rested on him being healthy and good. I mean, for all the problems, Tennessee made the college football playoff with him as their quarterback. And I think that was the goal. So, but you talk about, we're going to shop you around, don't get hurt. The reason I don't buy into that too much was the way he played against Ohio State.
Well, that's a reason to buy into it, though, if you stop and think about it. Because at that point, you're shopping him around, and they tell him, hey, go out there on film and show these people you can run around a little bit.
I think they would be risking injury with that. And you know what? After that game, I heard more fans talking to me just, going through the week about how they were more impressed with Nico after that Ohio State game than any game all year. He won fans over with his attitude and the way he just, under duress, just kept taking on tacklers. So I guess you could spin it your way if you want.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what's interesting. Matt, he brings up an interesting point, doesn't he, about the involvement? Because we know the father is super involved. We know the father was over at practice. I've heard there were family members over there playing off the side, throwing the ball around. I mean, it was just a kind of a three-ring circus around Nico. What do you think, Matt, and the dad there? That's an interesting thing that Sam brings up there.
Yeah, I think however involved the dad is, I mean, he was obviously too involved, but whatever the dad told Nico would be what Nico did. So I think there might be some truth into that. Probably a combination of both. It is interesting that I think the Ohio State game is the one that stands out where Nico took a lot of punishment, but he also ran around a lot in that Georgia game too and took a bunch of hits. And I think the only 3 games that he had 10 or more carries were the 3 losses when nothing else on the offense was working and he was kind of risking himself. So it's interesting, but I do think that the dad probably could have made some suggestions about saving yourself and, making sure you don't get hurt. I just think it was kind of a collaborative effort with Heupel, because I think Heupel coached scared and play called like he was holding things back because they didn't want to risk any injury to Nico.
Huh. I think this Nico thing really shows me how challenging this era is for these coaches. Because I've got to coach you and grow you. I've got to keep you happy. And I got to deal with your crazy family. And back in the day, under the old rules, once you signed with me, I told the parent, you get your coat and your lei and you get on out my way. Now...
Oh, did you write that down
somewhere? Now I got to turn around and let you have 20 family members sitting over here playing while we're having practice. Because we have to accommodate you.
Well,
it's a totally different deal now.
It's a different dynamic, and yes, it is challenging, but when you're making the kind of money that these guys are making, they should have challenges.
Oh, I'm not feeling sorry for him.
And here's the thing, though, with Nico. Forget what the coach says and how we got to protect this guy. We can't risk him. Forget what the dad says. Hey, we'll be shopping you around if you want to say that. He actually encouraged Nico to have contact when he was in high school. The dad did. He wanted him running over people. But forget all that stuff and go back to the Oklahoma game. Any quarterback, games like that change quarterbacks. When you know your tackle can't block the edge rusher, can't do it, and you know your receivers are going to have trouble getting open, especially the pass rush changes you. You start thinking, when you take that snap, you're thinking, in your head, I got to get rid of this ball fast. That's got to be my first priority. I can't complete the pass if I can't throw it. And that changes guys. And that if you look at Nico up until that game and then look at him after that game, was the difference. Nobody was talking in the first 3 games that Nico was overrated.
He was it.
Overrated.
He was going to win the Heisman Trophy.
I mean, we thought NC State might be a decent team.
Yes.
We didn't know what NC State would become.
Right.
But when you're watching it, those first 3 games, it was like, oh, my gosh.
You know, Sam, which brings me to this. College football now, you got to watch a month of it before it makes sense to you. You cannot you don't know from Watson says this, he's right. This is no longer a football program. These are teams, year-to-year teams. The team Florida State put on the field versus the team that showed up the next year. The team Alabama put on the field versus the team that was out there the year before. The team Oklahoma put on the field versus the team that was out there the year before. This thing is constantly moving, constantly changing. And I don't know how these people in Vegas, because if you watch them, it takes them a good month to get a handle on what's out there on the field. But now that we've gone round and round on Nico, what do you think, Sam? Is it the father or is it Josh Heupel, like Matt was saying? What do you think?
I think it's got to be a combo, and I'll agree with John in that, you know, like you were talking with Watson, where these guys go out in shorts and a T-shirt and throw it all around the yard, you know, and I'll relate it to golf because that's what I do. It's like a guy that hits every shot perfect on the driving range, and the second he gets up on a par 4, out of bounds left, and the wind's blowing right to left, he can't pull the club back because he's never been in the situation. And so it's hard to get over that mentally until you've done it enough. And if you don't trust your tackle play, you know, I'll give Nico that, but, you know, he's got that going on, and then his dad's in his ear, and the coaches don't know what they have. You know, it's not a recipe for good QB play. It's just not.
Oh, no. And that's what we're dealing with. That might be why, you know, I haven't even thought about this. That might be why a lot of these young quarterbacks aren't developing. They've got these teams. You've got a coach over here on the left coast that you work with. Just all these guys. You got your own throwing coach. We got these teams of people around. I mean, who am I going to listen to? I got to develop. Who am I going to listen to? Because, you know, the NFL quarterback play, at this point in time with young guys entering that league, it's never been worse. You get a couple injuries in the NFL, and you watch late October, early November NFL football, and you see some of these spring league quarterbacks that they use, John, it's not a good product.
Well, here's the thing, though. What it also does, it raises up those very unusual, exceptional players like a Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it increases their worth exponentially. Because they aren't that many guys that can do that. A Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes.
There's no middle in that league. It's like you get past the first 9 or 10 guys, and it's like, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is still playing. I mean, he's washed. He's roached.
Yeah, but he can still
and
throw
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco's still playing. He was washed 5
He's still
years
making rosters.
ago.
Remember in the Super Bowl where the Tampa Bay, I guess it was, against Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes' offensive tackles were both out.
Yeah.
He's playing in the Super Bowl against a really good defense, and they get overwhelmed. And in that game, in that Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes, and I watched this guy a lot, when he was at Texas Tech, because I thought he was really good. But in that game, he impressed me more than any game I ever saw him. He kept trying to make a play. He never gave up on a play. He wasn't Cam Newton. Well, I'm not even diving for that.
Oh,
ball.
no.
I'm getting away from that ball. We're beat.
When Newton did that, his career was over.
And this guy just kept trying to make plays.
Anything else for Sam? Great call.
Yeah, to round it out, I mean, this is why I'm pretty optimistic about the season, just with I think the offensive line is going to be pretty good. And then, you know, I don't know how talented Joey Aguilar is or what throws he can or can't make, but he's been in 4 years of football games. He's seen people coming at him. He's not going to be scared of that kind of stuff. So it's all dependent on how good the protection is going to be and how quickly he can get on the same page as the receivers. But yeah, I'm pretty optimistic that he'll be able to play pretty good quarterback, at least to the level of Nico or better.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank
that
you.
got you 10 wins last year.
And
so.
that's not going to be very hard. I appreciate the call. Thank you. Good talking to you, Sam. We'll go back to the phones. I'm looking forward to this upcoming year here. I don't know what Tennessee's win total is going to be. I think they're going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be a really interesting season. I'm a storyline guy. I love storylines. This showy football guy getting the ball and getting an opportunity here, him trading spots with Nico, I mean, that's right up my alley. The fact that he's a little bit of a gunslinger, and everybody I talk to tells me this is a cocky. They can't believe how cocky this kid is. Not confident, cocky. I'm talking like this kid walks around with a chip on his shoulder. I love that. I love guys like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a quarterback. Give me a guy that says, whether it's false bravado or not, hey, come on, let's go play.
He has the chance to be the most popular Tennessee quarterback since Peyton Manning.
No doubt about it. The fans, if this guy can fog up a mirror, John, the fans are going to love this dude. And if Matt's right and he starts throwing the long ball and they get that back in their deal and he starts hitting some passes, I mean, this could be a really, regardless of what the record is, 8-4, 9-3. I think 9-3 at the tops. Look, I think you go 9-3. I think you're coach of the year. That's me. But let's go back to the phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Okay, Tony, I'm giving Tony Vitello an A+.
All right, we're doing the letter grades.
Even though we didn't make it into the College World Series, we weren't good enough. And that's the fact with my hand up.
Titans Bill, let me interrupt you a second. I really appreciate this take from you because you've shown me your versatility. Just like Josh Heupel this past season showed he could win with defense, not just offense. When you normally call, it's always going to be totally off the wall, off topic, comes out of left field, whatever you want to call it. But what did you do? You got Tony Basilio back on point because he introduced at the top of the show what we're doing today. We're giving all these coaches letter grades, okay? Well,
yeah.
We've talked about Major League Baseball. We've talked about Nico Iamaleava. We've talked about his dad. We've talked about Polynesians. We've talked about everything. But we're an hour and a half into the show, and we still hadn't got to evaluating any of these other coaches. And here you come getting us back on topic. That's the antithesis of what we think you are. And you really expanded your game.
He's an artist. Guy's an artist.
Congratulations.
Hey, Billy, let me ask you something. Let's go letter grades, all right? What do you give the basketball team? Basketball team.
I'm going to give them an A-.
Elite 8, Bry, tied a school record. What do you give the basketball team, Bry?
I would give them I'll go with A-.
John?
I would say
it's a really nice job by Barnes.
I would say a B+ or A-, kind of right in there.
They fought injury. That Estrella thing, man, that
was
really hurt them.
He was a key component.
He's going to be a great player.
But again, it depends on how we evaluate it. I give Barnes credit for bringing in a defensive stopper in the post.
No doubt.
For bringing in a high-scoring guy after losing Dalton Connect. He brings in Chaz Lanier from the portal. He knew what he needed, and he got it. And so I think that has to factor into the grade, too.
Dixon, what do you got for basketball?
I'll give him an A-.
Bill, is there anybody else you want to get a grade in on the way out here? Yes. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Mike Borgonzi, Chad Brinker, Amy Adams Strunk, Brian Callahan, A-. Because right now they should have traded that number 1 overall pick, but they're rolling the dice.
You're back in character.
But they rolled the dice on Cam Ward. And the thing that I'm going to tell those guys, when they roll that dice, it better end up being snake eyes.
What do you think about the Predator coaches?
Brian, what'd you think of the trade the Grizz made last night?
The Grizz got Colin Coward. I thought that's impressive.
How about that Red Sox-Giants deal?
Hey, last night on ESPN, he's not kidding. The lady doing the thing, she said the kid that was first drafted, she goes, and Colin Coward is the 16th pick in the draft. I'm going,
what?
Colin Coward, he's 60 years old. He went in the NBA draft last night.
Who was she talking about?
She was talking about Colin. What's a kid's first last name from Washington State, Brian? Colin.
I think it's Coward, Coward.
Well, that's
it's
that's
not. No, that's not his name. No,
he played at Washington State. Let me look it up.
It's not his name. His name's not Coward. You clown. But go ahead. It's like
Bill. He was asking you for.
You pulled me off.
Cedric
topic.
Coward. Yeah, Cedric Coward.
There you go.
Coward.
Oh,
that's his name.
I can see how that would happen.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll be honest with you. I am not a big fan of the NBA. I didn't even watch the draft.
Bill, do you have anything else you'd care to add? Any other letter grades from the sports teams that we had here, Bill, on the way out?
Get back on topic. Get back on
Karen
topic.
Weekly, please.
No, Brian, don't do that. Don't you try to incite this guy in the middle of June.
No, don't go there. Don't go there, Brian.
Cheap shot.
Please.
He's a cheap shot, Bill.
Yeah, don't go there, please, Brian. I am going to have to give the WNBA an A+ because look, there's one thing I like about the WNBA compared to the NBA.
What in the world?
Because there's a lot of intensity that's played. The other night, I was watching a game between the Dallas Wings and the Connecticut Sun.
Who watches
and
the
that
WNBA?
game was played more like a college game instead of a pro game.
Titans Bill, do you think it might be time for personal inventory in your case? What's going on with you in your world?
I think my world is fine, John. That's what I think.
That's awesome.
Hey, Bill, whenever my friends ask me who watches the WNBA from here on out, the answer is Titans Bill.
Titans Bill, what's your take on the WNBA's new star, former SEC player Sophie Cunningham?
Titans Bill's out of here, as he belongs, after that take, as we continue with more after this.
Your Smokies are back home this week, and you asked for it, so you got it. All You Can Eat Wednesdays is back. Pulled pork, hot dogs, Bush's baked beans, popcorn, chips, drinks, a ticket to the game. You get it all. Don't forget Thirsty Thursdays with half-off draft beers, and next weekend, we've got Medieval Night on Friday with Knights, Royals, and fireworks. Smokies Version Night and fireworks on Saturday with the first 2,000 fans receiving a free friendship bracelet. And come meet Flippy on Sunday. Grab your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Since 2001, Hyperinch Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has been the trusted and preferred name for over 70,000 Knoxville locals looking for expert plumbing services and HVAC services, including repairs, replacements, or maintenance. Voted best plumber in Knoxville. and one of Knoxville's best HVAC companies 7 years in a row. Pipe Wrench is a fully licensed mechanical contractor and committed to excellence and craftsmanship, so you can trust our certified experts to go above and beyond to meet your plumbing and HVAC needs, no matter what problem arises. We also make it easy with transparent pricing, free on-site estimates for replacement, and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing when credit approved. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards, so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire. Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our Gold Bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hi there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. If you're thinking about selling your home, I've got good news for you. The East Tennessee and Knoxville areas are projected to have another strong year. I'll be happy to talk with you about the latest and greatest info you need. So give me a call at 865-694-5904 or contact me at nextmovesmokymountains.com. Hope to hear from you soon, and go Vols.
Tony B here with the great Zakai Ziegler for
Hey,
Advent.
whoa. Tony, I got this. Hey, Tennessee, it's Easy here. Next time you have an electric issue at your home or business, call my friends at Advent Electric. With offices in Knoxville and Nashville, it's Mama's Easy approved.
You heard it from the most electrifying player in the league. Call the service professionals at Advent Electric, 865-588-0631. Online, adventelectric.com. Tell them ZZ sent you. Now, look here. We got about, 20 plus to play here. We'll get as many calls in as humanly possible. There will be no TLD Logistics Overdrive overtime. I got to put the blog together. We're playing music tonight down at Calhoun's in Lenoir City under the cabana there.
How many musical instruments can you play?
The Colt Cabana. Oh, I started on saxophone as a kid. I could probably pick that up and make noise with it. I can play a piano, not well, but I can play it enough to play it.
Could you play a song?
I could play a bass guitar. I could play a mandolin. I could play a banjo and make noise on it and understand what I'm doing.
What about harmonica? Can you
I
go
can play
Bob
harmonica.
Dylan?
Yeah, I can play a harmonica. I can play Tennessee waltz. When my son was playing golf, I would travel in my car and go, make these 10-hour road trips and many times drive by myself And so that's how I taught myself to play harmonica on long car rides.
Can you walk to the golf course from here?
Yes. Let's go back to the phone. The worst thing that ever happened was John Adams walking into the studio. I can see right now. He's got so many show topics and ways to bust my stones over this whole deal. I mean, we got a lot of material. John's a material. I can tell. John's a material maker. He's gonna wear me out. Let's go back to the phones and welcome in. You're on the air.
Well, hello, gentlemen.
Richard, welcome in.
It is good to be able to call on another nice, hot, and humid day in Tennessee. So.
Well, I tell you, man, I tried to walk around last night with my guitar around 7 o'clock. I waited till the sun went down. Richard, it was so hot last night you couldn't think. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, horrible. It was horrible.
Unbelievable.
That umpiring softball died from the heat calling games.
Oh, really?
So bad, man.
A softball umpire died?
Yeah, an umpire calling softball games yesterday died.
Where was this?
I forget exactly where. I just briefly read it, but yeah, it's all over the internet and stuff.
Got to be careful.
Where he died calling softball games.
Got to be careful.
Yeah. So, but yeah, hey, great conversation, coaches. Let's quickly kind of go down. Hey, baseball. Tony definitely gets an A- to me. He did well, I think, with this roster, and I think LSU showed one thing. If Tony would have had a little bit more pitching, I think we'd have been right there with them, challenging them for the national championship this year. But they had two better pitchers, two really good starters, and I think we were just missing a little bit more of that. And but equally offensively, Tony, I don't think there was a lot of difference between our offensive team and their offensive team. But yeah, it was that. But so I think Tony did a great job with the roster, and I give him an A+ to this that he's still finishing this year out by working on his roster for next year. Because I'm like you, Tony, what you said about him, this is eating him alive that he wasn't in Omaha, and he does not want that to happen next year. So give him kudos for that. Josh Heupel, I've got to give him an A- like Brian. I think what he did with the roster, what he was able to do to play to his team's strength is part of coaching, that he coached that team to a 10-2 record. I know, John Adams, you talk about the schedule. Well, if you're willing to give him, drop the letter grade a little bit because of schedule, that means you must be giving Lane Kiffin a really bad grade, because he had as easy, if not an easier schedule and a better roster than Heupel, and Mr. Kiffin didn't even make it to the playoffs. So we got to give him probably a D. But
I wouldn't give him a D because he was on the cusp, but I would probably give him give him a C+ because he built that roster. The loss to Kentucky
that's unbelievable.
Was horrendous.
Unbelievable.
And the loss to Florida was bad.
That's why some of those programs, Richard, like the Ole Misses of the world, it just wasn't meant to be for them. When you see a team that lose to Kentucky, it just wasn't meant to be for you.
Yeah. And it goes back to what you said, Tony, in this SEC. It don't matter. You can say, yes, Tennessee had an easier schedule than Oklahoma did, but it's still an SEC schedule where you can lose to anybody. Just ask Alabama losing to Vanderbilt.
Such a hard league.
Yep. So let's talk about a coach I hadn't heard yet. Maybe it was when I was out. What a job Kim Caldwell did in her first year as taking over the iconic Lady Vols program, trying to bring it back to the top. Not only did she succeed and get to the Sweet 16, but she was there with a chance. She had Texas there in the last few minutes with a chance to get to the Elite Eight. She put together a roster that wasn't built for her style of play. She had a couple players that could do it. The majority of them couldn't, but she put it together. And then her recruiting to build up for this coming year, she's put together a Final Four type roster. So I got to give her a base. I know she didn't get to the Elite Eight, but to me, I give her an A+ for all that she was facing and what she did in getting the Lady Vols program back quickly.
It was shocking. And the other thing that she did that's really interesting, she took a lot of the same players, and those kids bought in and reworked their bodies in order to play in that deal. Like, she basically said, this is what's expected of you. This is not going to be easy. But if you'll kind of trust the process here, we'll go out, and there were a couple games where, when you play that way and you're short stacked, you're going to get rolled a couple times. But for the most part, John, they were damn good all year. They were really good.
Yeah, again, and we're talking about how you want choose to evaluate somebody. Just don't co- And I think we've kind of decided it's what you did with your team, your program. And it starts, I was amazed. Now, the Lady Vols getting to the Sweet 16 is not a big deal. They do that almost by showing up. So I think some people would say, well, why are you giving her so much credit when you didn't give the last coach as much credit? How much difference in what they accomplished? But she completely overhauled the system. And I think if you look back, first she brought in transfers. She identified transfers who could play in her system. She did that. Then what Tony just said, she sold the returning players. She did not have a roster built for this system. But she said, you guys can play in this system, I promise you. And she convinced them that they could. And I thought they played with a lot of confidence. Their skill set, a lot of them skill set. And it showed later on and against some talented teams.
Yeah.
No, where they couldn't quite do it. But so what she did, so she built the roster, and then she goes out afterward in the transfer portal and in recruiting. She got one of the top high school recruiting classes in the country. She did all of this in 1 year and had a baby at the same time. When she gets
we can't stress that enough. Having a baby, wow, and also John,
incredible.
She beat the most hated team on the Lady Vols schedule, and that's UConn.
Yep,
the national
A+. I agree with you, Richard.
She beat the best team in the country. That team turned out to be the best team in the country.
It's crazy.
We didn't know it at the time, but give Gino credit.
He's a great coach.
He's an incredible coach.
He's unbelievable.
That team peaked at the right time, but yes, she beat him. And so when you look going forward, her system, there's a question. The only reason I think she couldn't win a national championship is, can she get the very best players to play in that system and know they're not going to play over 30 minutes a game? Can she do that? And I'm not sure she can't do it. Maybe she can, but it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that.
It's going to be interesting. She sold it her first year here. Like you said, with the recruiting class. We'll see what she can do in the future, going forward. But I think at the end, I think that her best players still played 30 minutes a game last year. They just were in and out. It's different. But at the end of the day, when you're playing the best teams, you're going to play your best players regardless.
Well, Richard, thank you. Great phone call. And I agree with him on Kim Caldwell. It's hard to do better than what she did, especially, she took over something that was becoming almost morbid. That's what Lady Vol basketball was becoming. Because if you continue to do the same thing, the same old thing, and it was like really gutsy hire. It was such a gutsy hire that Richard G. West broke the news. And he was right. And we all thought it was a joke. We all thought there's no way they hired some kid with limited experience. She got a little Stone Cold Killer in her. She got a little Tony Vitello in her is what she has. When you look at how she's gone about putting her class together as well, she's not playing around.
I think it's important, Tony, when you have a team and a program have an identity.
Yeah, no question.
The great programs, you're looking at LSU, South Carolina, UConn, they have an identity. I think the Lady Vols had lost an identity. They had that with Pat Summitt. I think that was one of the problems in hiring former Tennessee players. They were still kind of trying to make the Pat Summitt to be have that identity. It's understandable that they would, but they didn't have Pat Summitt. And so you couldn't have that identity. You could strive for it, but you couldn't duplicate it. So you're kind of torn between doing what you need to do and what Pat Summitt did. And I think so. Danny White is AD, to his credit. That's one thing I believe he was sure of. We're going outside the family.
Oh, it's wild.
We need something new here.
Crazy hire.
And so
Great hire.
And he does it, and so she comes in, and now this team has an identity.
What'll be interesting to see is what her high end. It's kind of like the football deal. What is the ceiling? Because the floor is very high with her. She showed you that last year. Josh Heupel's shown you that here. The floor is very high. What's the ceiling? Who knows? It's kind of fun to think about. Before we go back to the phones, I want to remind you, my friends at VIP Play, your welcome bonus is right there. You make that first bet of $5 or more, and you got things now, Major League Baseball, to bet on nightly because we got a ton of vols up there, and you can do a mix and match parlay, and you can do same game parlays. You can go across the board. You can grab things from different games and put them together and do your thing. And if there's a bet there that you can't find among the 200 leagues you can gamble on, you reach out to my man Robert Killer Kowalski, and he's going to take incredible care of you. VIP Play team will create a bet for you if you can't find it. Check out their specials page for daily bets you can't find anywhere else in Tennessee. Remember, use the promo code TNTony when you go. And remember as well, now that the month's coming to a close, the VIP Players Club sweepstakes, a winner is going to be crowned on June 30th. Get in there and get your name in the mix and in the hunt. And when you do the parlays, you get 10 times the entry points when you play a parlay. And remember, with Major League Baseball, the parlay profit boost on 3 picks or more. Let me go back to our phones on a day where John Adams is with us in studio. And we go back to our phones as I say thank you to Richard. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's Zach in E-Town. Hey, John Adams. What's up,
Hey,
guys?
Zach in E-Town. Let me say, if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in our state of Tennessee to place a bet. What's up, Zach? Go right ahead.
Not much, but thank you for the warning.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, I want to get to grade on Barnes, but you really cracked me up earlier with the get your lay and get on out of my way. So I was thinking if we had a Scottish quarterback, like maybe his last name was McGregor or something.
Yes.
And he had his whole family.
Yes.
Over on the sideline tossing the caber or throwing the hammer. The caber toss where you basically flip telephone poles.
I'm going to take your word for it. Continue.
You could say, get your bonnet, your haggis, and get on out of my practice.
Man, you worked at that.
Yeah, wow, that was good. I give you a lot of credit for that.
I mean, I've been waiting for a while, but yeah, it
That's
came
what happens
quick.
to
But
us,
I thought it was pretty cool.
Very good.
Good job.
Anyways, haggis is sheep's intestines.
Haggis, yes.
Yes. Okay, so I want to grade Barnes a little bit.
The coach from Wake Forest could work a rhyme up with that as well. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Barnes, I had him at an A- at the end of the year, but I was kind of bummed out last night, and I didn't expect it. But the fact that there were no Vols drafted, and Georgia had that Asa Noel guy, and I guess we knew the Texas guy was going to go, but I might take him down from a A- to a B+ because I thought, it would be nice to have had at least a first rounder on that team. I think it should be our goal, maybe in addition to winning games, I'd like to pop some guys in the first round every year. It felt pretty fun to do that last year.
Matt Dixon and Bride, do you guys agree with that? When you don't have a first round pick, you get docked.
Well, he made it to the Elite Eight without a first-round pick, so maybe
I think it's even more reason to give him
that should even raise it in one grade.
I don't dock him for not having first-round picks, but I think history says you need one or two of those elite first-round guys to win a national championship. So it kind of plays against him in that aspect, but I don't hold it against him.
You know what's weird about that draft last night again? And I'm not a great purveyor of NBA basketball. Rutgers
Me
had
neither.
2 of the top 5 picks in the draft and didn't even make the NCAA tournament. Duke had 3 of the top 10 picks in the draft, and I didn't see them cutting a net down.
Nope.
Well, really strange.
Texas and Georgia had a top 30 pick, and Penn State even had one, and those teams didn't. Those two of them lost in the first round.
Well, think of all those.
Never had a chance.
Think of all those Kentucky players in the NBA draft and who've become NBA stars. And what did they do in college?
No doubt.
Jack squat. But I don't know. I'm just thinking from a prestige, especially, I guess that might be a selling point in the NIL era.
Oh,
that's kind of what
they sold every one of those guys. The 3 shooting guards they struck out with, they sold every one of them that you'll be in the Lanier spot. And they had to end up getting a guy that's, quite frankly, second rate, maybe even third rate. Compared to what they used to have.
But they got a point guard
who
might can shoot like that.
Oh, he's a great player. He's an excellent player.
Well, I saw that Igor Milicic is in the top 40 of best available remaining players.
Let's go, Igor. Get in there tonight.
Yeah.
I thought Tennessee would get more out of him.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
He got kind of lost here.
He did. He had like a really nice open to the season.
Yep.
But just real quick, I'd like to give Tony Vitello an A. Kim Caldwell, I'd like to give her an A because she, I think, did a real nice flip real quick on the way the game was played and kept those young ladies involved. And we'll give Hype a B plus. And so I think our coaches and I guess Karen Weekly, I give her a B plus. They had it. They came close. So
you give her a B plus. You're giving.
But she got him all the way.
Final 4, man.
Oh yeah. Well, no, yeah. Oh, that's right. A. Okay, so A. I kept thinking she was 1 round short, but yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, and if they were really like an inning away from being,
oh my gosh,
just,
that's torture,
golden,
dude.
So.
She needs to get a room, and thank you, my friend. She needs to get a room with that Arkansas coach. Because those two are
Speaking
dead
of
fellows. Go ahead, Brian.
Arkansas, John Calipari did not have a first-round pick for the first time since 2007.
I saw that. I saw where the Pontiac Fiero is supposed to go in the first, 6 or 7 picks tonight. Fiero did not go in the first round. Hello and welcome into our next call as you're on our Thursday edition with John Adams.
Hey, gentlemen. Good to be on with John Adams.
Yes, sir. You got about 3 minutes, so hit it.
Hey, real quickly, everybody that has Twitter goes to that a lot. Somebody yesterday tweeted out, if you ever wondered what a future NFL quarterback looks like in middle school, just check out Peyton Manning's son, Marshall's highlight reel.
Uh-oh. Here it comes
the guy
again.
Can throw, buddy.
He's got the pedigree.
But I want to say, Coach Barnes, I give him an A. Coach Kim Caldwell, I would give her an A as well. Tony Vitello, an A minus. Karen Weekly, an A. And my last one, Heupel, I would give him a B. And gentlemen, I know we got more time we should have for this, but I'm wondering in the situation where we had trouble last year with wide receivers.
Yep.
We had none.
Yep.
That they put out there anyway. And it kind of bothers me a little bit that he was so, I don't know what you would call it, where he didn't give Boo Carter a chance.
You called that. Hey, I give you credit.
My mind.
You called that. We were laughing at you last year, man. You called it. You get credit from me, brother, for that.
I hope he becomes a pure two-way player.
Be great, man. Be great for the game. We need two-way players. Let those guys be athletes. Quit acting like you're splitting atoms. Put a guy on offense and let him run a few plays. You're not splitting atoms. It can't be that hard. The guy at Colorado, there's a lot of guys that can do that. Stop it, y'all. Stop acting like this. This is brain surgery. It's not. You're playing football. Come on.
Hey, guys.
Go ahead, Richard. Greg, I'm sorry.
He won Class 6A Player of the Year his senior year of high school. That should tell you enough. And he had over 40 touchdowns in his junior and senior years.
You could be the man, brother. I'll tell you that right now. You could be the man on our TLD Logistics phone line. We're not going to have a TLD Logistics overdrive. Well, you know what? We're going to do a quick one because Adams is here. I want him to do just a quick survey of what he's seen here, just the experience of being here, and then we'll take a few more phone calls. So I lied, but thank you for the call, Greg. We'll do a quick TLD Logistics Overdrive overtime as we stay in the Rainier studio and break it down scientifically. To the radio listener, I love you. Peace and GBO, and please be safe. Please be safe with the heat.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM. Translator W259AP. Powell, Knoxville.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Believe that. John Adams is here, presented by our friends at TLD Logistics online at tldlogistics.com. All right, John, we hung out in here for a couple hours. Your thoughts on the aesthetic, the experience, the whole deal?
2 words.
Yep.
Totally overwhelmed. I came in here not knowing what to expect.
Right.
I kind of had an idea, but now that I see it, I realize I had no idea. It's too much to absorb. It's almost like I'm here for a couple of hours.
Right.
And it's like I need a couple of weeks.
Well, if you look behind you here, look up there. There's a button with Paulie Joe on it. Dick the Bruiser. He looks just like Paulie, does he not? Look at him.
At that.
And then over here, if you'll notice, we've got
Indiana Notre Dame game.
We've got 10 buttons from the Hoghead Festival. If you'll notice up there on the wall, I've got some buttons here on the wall. There's a Raleigh towel. I
like
from the Raleigh days.
The Jerry Green shirt, really. I busted out laughing. I was laughing out loud when I saw that. Jerry Green, a very bright, colorful shirt.
Yes. Green Power, it's called, from the Jerry Green era. Matt, did you own a Green Power T-shirt at one time?
I probably did, yeah.
John's been sitting on a chair that read to the listeners what we have in here. Read it. And don't laugh. My gosh. It's the one of the first NIL shirts.
It's a photo of Jarrett Garantano with a lion. And it has his name, and it's got Lion-Hearted.
Flip it around. Look at the back of the design. You can't laugh, John. Matt, why is he crying? Tell him you can't laugh,
No,
Matt.
It's like a split face with part half Jared Garantano's face and then half a lion's face. Like I'm in Out of Africa.
Lion-Hearted. Brian, have you worn that shirt out? Because Brian got one too. One of our listeners.
Where did you get the shirt?
One of our listeners got it for us. Brian, do you remember who gave us that?
Yeah, it was Drew, the caller that
Drew,
does John Ward impersonations. And
John
I
Ward,
have worn
Drew.
it out before. I still got it somewhere.
When you wear it out, what do people say to you?
I don't even think they notice or even try to look at it that closely. But I've worn it out a few times.
Should I wear it tonight for music, John? Would that be a funny thing to wear?
No.
Oh.
No, because it's black. It's going to be way too hot.
Back to the phones. We're under the cabana, though, so the color of the...
You're not lion-hearted, Tone.
No. Back to our phones we go. 865-200.
Did you see the movie
5402?
Excuse me. Did you see the movie The Usual Suspects?
Mm-mm.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
This room
Mm-hmm.
is in the most important scene. You need to watch that just to see this person is in I don't want to give anything away, but he's in a detective's office and he's looking around at all this stuff in these coffee cups and these buttons and these signs, and he weaves a story out of that. You really need to see that movie just for that, and it is a great movie.
These things, I threw these things in here to kind of stimulate my mind when I'm doing what I'm doing, just various things. I just kind of look at them, and there's Mr. Goodwrench up there if you look, but the Hoghead Festival, there's 10 of those.
Well, see, now I can see this is kind of who you are because you go in every different direction.
That's right.
And that's what this room is.
That's right.
You don't focus, and you can't focus
That's
in
exactly,
this room.
That's a good point.
So
I
this
don't
room,
focus.
it's like
Have you been to Proctor, Minnesota, John?
What?
Have you been to Proctor, Minnesota, home of the Hoghead Festival?
No.
Look at it. Just so you know where we're not. Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You're on TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hi.
Welcome to the Ramirez studio, John.
I'm right in the middle of it, and I saw a Ray Mears photo.
Hey, first off, John, Pat Daly said hi.
Oh my God! It's this. He got through. He wasn't doing his shtick. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
His phone call gets a B today.
Yeah, he gets a B.
Probably should get an A getting through.
A for, what would A stand for? Alacrity. Hello
Asshole.
Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's Robin Dallas.
Hey, Robin Dallas. Welcome in.
Hey, you guys were talking about the Nico Joey football thing.
Yep.
One of my neighbors here is he works for one of the college football programs here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He knows I'm a UT fan, and he came over and asked me about it, and I said, I don't know. I said, we can't do no worse than we did last year. His words, Joey football is the biggest steal we got. He said, that guy in our offense is going to put up lights-out numbers. And I said, well, what about his interceptions? He seems to be a little hectic or crazy when it comes to that stuff, and he's like, he's in the wrong offense because you got the right quarterback for your offense. And I'm like, really? He's that good? And he's like, for your offense, he's that good.
Who said this?
Wow.
Who said that again?
Yeah, I don't want to throw his business out there, but he works for one of the football programs here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and there's only 4, so it's a Division I school.
So he's a coach at a Division I school?
He's not the head. He's I want to say, I think he's strength and conditioning.
Oh, cool.
Recruiting coordinator.
Oh, wow.
Like yeah. But he said that guy, he goes, that's the guy. You need that guy in your offense, and he's that guy. And I was like, really?
It would be so funny and ironic if the two guys that could really click in this offense were the two guys the head coach sort of just had thrown on him.
Yeah, with Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker was an afterthought, so much of an afterthought that he went out and got Joe Milton after spring football.
And this thing here, if this guy trades places with Nico and this guy goes off, it'll be one of the greatest things I've ever witnessed. I mean, it would be unbelievable. And the entire establishment of college football is rooting for Tennessee this year because what that kid and his family did to the Vols and just left them in a lurch here. Because they're really over the barrel with this deal. It might be that this kid's a nice player, but we don't see it because they just don't have enough time to ramp him up. The other thing, Matt, that I was talking about with Watson Brown yesterday is, would you guys consider getting him hit a little bit in the run up to the season just to see what you have with him?
Hey, my guy, he looks for hits. This guy goes out and looks to get hit.
Well, no,
he's a baller.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to. He doesn't need to get hits. No.
No?
No.
What about Matt and Camp? Wouldn't you hit him a little bit just to see see how you function with a live pass rush with this stuff, or no, Matt?
No, just watch the 2 years at Appalachian State to see how he did with the pass rush. No, you don't need to do that for him.
He's got to get the offense. So you're not going to know what you have till you play a live game, till you play somebody real.
And that's the other thing about people saying what he could be. He has never come close to playing against this level of competition.
Oh, no.
And so we're second guessing how we evaluated Nico Iamaleava because of, and we saw him in those first 3 games last year and how great everybody thought he would be, even at those outside the Tennessee area like Urban Meyer and Nick Saban. We don't know if Joey Aguilar goes out and plays great against Syracuse, maybe. Or in who's the second game? Somebody like Chattanooga, or it's a guaranteed win.
Georgia's the game.
We won't know about Joey Aguilar as a quarterback until you see the Georgia
That's
game.
exactly right. And hey, if the guy lights the world up against, kind of like when Hooker lit the world up against Alabama, and you went, "Whoa, we got something here." It's kind of going to be fun. No, it wasn't. No, it was out. Yeah, Hooker lit up Alabama. That's when we were all like, whoa, because first it was the LSU game down there. That was the first inkling that, hey, something special's happening.
I think he's going to be good. I
hope you're right.
I'm excited. I think I'm a little more excited about this year than I was the Nico era.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're practicing what I call party discipline, my brother. What choice do you have? Might as well enjoy it, right? We got to run up to the season, and if it's a bomb, it's a bomb. But they're throwing a long pass here. Maybe it'll get caught. Maybe.
That's another thing you said. He's not afraid to air it out downfield. And I said, well, yeah, I think he had something like 21 interceptions or something.
But you got to have somebody. You got to have somebody that can go get it.
Well, Matt made a good point. And Matt, repeat what you said about this kid in this offense and how it could help him.
No, just Heupel's offense by design, it takes away those interceptable passes. You just don't throw balls in the coverage very often. Usually you're throwing it and your receiver is the only one who has a chance to get it. So it kind of takes those gunslinger plays, the negative parts of them, it kind of takes them out of the playbook because Heupel's quarterbacks just don't throw many interceptions at all.
This just popped into my head. Do we know whom Tennessee, if they release that, whom Tennessee is taking to the SEC Media Days this year?
No, I haven't seen it. No, I guess
it wouldn't take Joey Aguilar because they'll take guys that have been here, and they'll take. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But this guy he's a confident kid.
Oh yeah.
So that's another reason you probably wouldn't want to take him because we've just seen what Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt's talking about. He's beaten Tennessee. He's beaten Alabama again. Excuse me. And we see this Castellanos at Florida State saying Alabama can't stop him.
I love that stuff. I am so for that.
Great.
Hey, listen, you guys enjoy yourselves. You're only this age one time. Don't be robotic. Don't let these coaches control you.
But the coaches, it's harder to control a guy now because when a guy goes into college football, he might be making $1 million already.
That's the point.
And he's been taught about his brand.
That's the point.
His brand.
I love it. Don't let these coaches control you. Be yourself. Be yourself. But
I like a quarterback with some swag.
Sure.
I mean, look at Joe Burrow when he's at LSU. When that guy walked on the field, you're like, all right, you're getting ready to do something.
Look at Johnny Manziel.
Joe Burrow's chip on his shoulder from having never gotten on that field at Ohio State was as big as the Rocky Mountains. I mean, he walked out there too, and I mean, his onions were dragging the ground, brother.
Yeah. Johnny Football was another one.
That's why I'm calling this guy Joey Football. That's what this guy's going to be till I see differently. Joey football. I think that's a fair expectation that he performed at Johnny Manziel's level.
We'll
at
get
A&M.
some T-shirts made.
And yes, and let's get some T-shirts made. Joey football.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
my brother. Hey, appreciate
Yeah,
that inside word. Listen, I can be talked into this being a really interesting and fun season, which I think it's going to be here.
So what you're doing already, the hype going into next year with Nico, last year with Nico,
Yeah.
and especially after the first 3 games, you're going to create, by the time the season kicks off, you will have this team and this quarterback perhaps viewed in the same light.
No, because I don't think this team has playmakers. I think that's a problem.
Well, did you think last year's team had playmakers?
Yes.
Who?
I just thought some of those wide receivers could play. I think we all did. And they all left. I mean, I thought one of them would emerge. Didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. And they had none. You're just like...
I thought Squirrel White was going to be an all-SEC player.
Poor Squirrel White. I like what Matt said. Can we not throw the ball long to a guy that reaches up and tries to grab it with one arm? Because Matt said on one of those post-game shows, he can't lift his other arm above his shoulder. Can we pick somebody else out and call that play for them? And they just kept doing it, Matt.
Smallest catch radius of any Tennessee wide receiver that's ever played over there.
First of all, he was little to begin with, and then he could only lift one arm over his shoulder. You can't make that up. I'm like, guys, what are we doing?
It was like mini.
No wonder they're letting him run wide
me.
open 40 yards downfield.
That was the one thing of all the things that stood out in a negative fashion in the Ohio State game.
Yeah.
That to me stood out more than anything else. Tennessee receivers had no chance of getting open. They could not beat one-on-one coverage.
And like everybody tells me that was at that game live, they said you have to really go see that thing live to appreciate how open Ohio State's receivers were. Like Matt said, you said the Smith guy was like 30 yards open on that first play, right? That's when you knew we were in big trouble, right, Matt?
Yes. Yeah. After that first series where we had the roughing the passer, we never touched Will Howard, and you put those 3 NFL receivers, including Jeremiah Smith, who might have been the best player in the country.
Yes.
Yeah, we had no chance.
The Smith guy's he's like Larry Fitzgerald was, when he was in college, like a genius receiver. Like they just look at him and go, that guy's different, And Fitzgerald went on and had a Hall of Fame pro career. And if that kid stays healthy, this Smith guy, he's going to make a ton of money in the NFL. And he's going to set a bunch of records. It's all about these guys staying healthy, obviously. But their receiving core last year, that Ohio State bunch, man, that was a different animal. They were a different football team that we had seen all year.
Well, go back to one of the greatest teams in SEC history. We had 2 back-to-back, 2019 LSU, 2020 Alabama, with those receiving cores. I mean, for LSU to have Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase on the same.
You got to be kidding me.
They had 2 Hall of Fame receivers.
How about this Alabama team with this Smith kid that can really play in Philly? What's the little kid's name that's really good with the Eagles? Who am I thinking of, guys? Somebody help me out here. Devontae Smith. And then they had
Waddle.
They had that Michi guy who's in the NFL.
And Henry Ruggs.
Henry Ruggs would be in the NFL starring
Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy. They had like 6 of them. It was crazy how.
And then a tight end, I think, that was really good.
And see, here's the thing about Saban. Saban's got the Tony Vaughn thing going that the guy at LSU has going. It doesn't matter how many great players those guys get. They're always on to the next one. It does not matter that Vitello got the number 1 player in that portal, who's probably going to end up here like Matt wrote today in his blog. People think that Henry Ford guy is going to get here. And when he does, somebody needs to design a Model T T-shirt for him in NIL next year. A Power T, Henry Ford Model T.
Well, you'll have it. He'll be hanging in here.
See, I
right
told
next
you.
to Joey football.
I'm going to be
and Lion-hearted.
I'm going to be listening to this now. My balls.
He hit a game-tying home run in the Cape Cod League yesterday, by the way.
Who dat?
Henry Ford in the 9th inning.
Yeah, he's going to be a hell of a player.
Yeah, I realize.
I don't think many guys that play in the Cape Cod League get drafted that same summer. Usually they do it the year before. So I think he's going to end up here.
Well, the thing I hear about him is, Matt, he still has leverage after next year, right? He doesn't have to come out after next year even, does he?
Yes, because he's a sophomore this year, yes.
So that's the thing about him, and he'll be a high 1 year here, 1 year working with that Elander guy. They develop these guys. Hey, the kid that came from Ole Miss was a really good player. They developed him. The kid that played first base, he was already accomplished.
Now,
they turned him into a monster.
I already see him in the major leagues. And
no question.
And we talked about Christian Morris, what a super player he is, and he's already having a major league impact. But Jordan Beck, I didn't think he was it. And Matt and I talked about this. I might have been off air, but I didn't think he was that level of player.
I agree with that.
He's got 10 home runs. I think he's hitting about 260.
He's got real numbers.
Yeah,
real number. And the problem they thought with him was he's going to struggle with what they call the punch. That's what those guys in the bigs call that, the strikeout. He's going to struggle with. And the truth is that he has adjusted, and he's pretty respectful. He's a respectable Major League Baseball player on a team that doesn't have many of them. That's the other thing about him. He's not around. He's doing this on a team where he's not seeing anything.
Well, see, that to me, unlike any other sport in baseball, it's adjusting.
Yes.
I mean, as talented as Todd Helton was.
Yes.
I mean, you won't ever see a player any more talented as a young player than Todd Helton was. He became a Hall of Famer because he could adjust to whatever came his way, whatever he needed to do with his swing, whatever he needed to do to be able to hit a certain pitch. It takes all of that. That's what makes up a Hall of Famer. You have a super talent, and then you have someone who can adjust and develop his game and never stop getting better.
Those guys that are able to stay there for years and years and years. You know how talented you have to be to do that?
Good
and
gosh.
to get up every day, and these pitching coaches are working overtime on how to get you out, and then they identify something, and all of a sudden they start getting you out, and then everybody else picks up on it, and then you got to go back and reevaluate your swing.
You got to,
and relearn it all over again.
To be an Ohtani or an Aaron Judge, how good you have to be to do that.
Do you know that Ohtani guy, Matt? If he didn't play on the left coast, if he played in New York and in our time zone 30 years ago, you know how big that guy would be in our country? Now, baseball's not what it once was in our public consciousness because of all the strikes and all the strife and all that nonsense. But if that guy played on the East Coast, you imagine how we would talk about him? He's an anonymity.
What about this? What if the Yankees had Ohtani and Judge?
Well, that's what they tried to get Ohtani.
I know.
That's crazy. Yeah, you got a good point. I'm kind of glad the Dodgers are there to sort of neutralize those clowns.
The Yankees finally had their new Babe Ruth.
Hey, Matt, can we please and they would have called him Babe Ruth over there where he's from. Matt, can we Babe Ruth. Can we R's and L's? They confuse their R's and their L's.
I didn't know that.
Matt, is that politically incorrect to joke about? Yes or no?
It's all fair and game on this show.
Yeah.
John, has Laura come in there to say pull the plug yet?
No.
Well, it's getting ready to happen. Hey, John, thanks, man. You were fun today.
Yeah, this room is fun.
And you got fixed. You got that fix. Your computer is fixed, man.
We'll see when I go home.
What'd he get, Brian? Tell John.
He got himself fixed.
Got it fixed, John. We appreciate you. We love you. A guy we used to work with in radio, me and Bri, came in one day and he said, I got that fix. And we just looked at him and said, Okay, buddy. I mean, anybody tells you got something fixed. I mean,
So you
no
past tense, no past
suffix.
tense, just present tense
no
only.
suffix on it.
So it's like
fix.
It's devoid of time. There's no present, past, and future.
Correct. In other words, once I fix it,
it's
fixed.
Fixed.
It stays fixed. We appreciate you. Thank you. TLD Logistics, Jim Peters, Yoshihiho, online at tldlogistics.com. Love you. Appreciate you. Come out and sweat to the oldies tonight, Richard Simmons style. We'll be live at Calhoun's live in Lenore City. It's a good hour drive from me, from here.
That's quite a trek for you.
Quite a trek.
I'm only 4.5 miles away from you. I'm going to start coming over here more often.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
Actually, you're not.
Yeah,
No.
I am. Laura won't mind.
Interesting. Till we meet again, appreciate you. Peace. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Bri.
Be back soon.
Thank you, guys. Love you. GBO. And Willie Heflin and Bino. Love you. All right, let's run it back today. It was a fun show. Titans Bill got me back on topic.
Think you didn't like my self-inventory question?
I don't think he understood it, quite frankly.
Translator W259AD. Powell, Knoxville.
Tony Basilio, welcome you to another edition. I'm in a singing, humming mood today. We're playing music tonight down at Calhoun's in Lenoir City. We're coming to your city. Really beautiful down there on the lake. And it's absolutely outstanding. John Adams has blessed me to be in studio today. John, how we doing?
I find this fascinating.
Find what fascinating, John?
Your studio. I wish all the listeners could see this place. I mean,
Are you trying to crack on me or?
No, it's like